Welcome to WholeCEO with Lisa G. I'm the best-selling author of The Boss Weight Loss. I'm bringing you the top tips to be unstoppable. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually pull up a chair with today's top experts in mindset, weight loss, business, and more. Learn our top tips so that you can have more energy, be fit and resilient, feel unstoppable, unshakable, and unbreakable. He's a branding and marketing specialist helping businesses bring their brand stories to life through strategic and targeted promotional products. He's based in Sydney, but partners with businesses of all sizes all over the world, like Fortune 500 companies such as MasterCard, Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, Canva, TikTok, Shopify, Coca-Cola, and Pepsi, to name a few. I'm so excited to welcome to the podcast Roy Kowarski. Welcome.
Lisa, thank you so much for the invitation, and I'm thrilled to be here. Absolutely.
Well, I've been following you on LinkedIn, and I love everything that you do with branding. And let's start with that topic since you're such a wizard on that topic. And how can we communicate messages in ways that are engaging and inspiring?
Well, I would say that the way that I think is important is to show how we solve pain points for companies.
Right.
Because the thing is, people love to hear stories that they can resonate with.
Right.
That they can think, hold on a sec, I'm actually in that same situation. So when we try and sell, people don't want to be sold to.
Right.
People want to hear stories. They want to hear stories that resonate with them. Hold on a sec. You know what? I actually have that exact same problem. Let's have a look and see what this guy did to solve the problem for that company. That for me, that's a key element.
So it's a mistake then, in other words, when we just think that marketing and branding is going out there and talking about us. Instead, you're saying it's about the needs of the customer and the specific pain points that they have and solving them with a story.
Very, very much so. In fact, there's one single word that that encompasses what I do, why I do it, how I do it, and that's the word listen.
Great word.
And listening is something that it's in short supply in this world, because if you listen and you're asking questions and you're listening to what people are responding with, they're guiding you to where they're struggling. And how can you propose, and I'm just putting this out there, how can you propose a solution if you don't know where the person is positioned? And to be honest with you, that is a huge mistake that many companies make, is businesses, is that they think they believe they have a solution, but they haven't found out if you need it.
So then how do we go about doing market research? Because so many times we're so ambitious and gung-ho and we'll create a product and test it without really interviewing people first and finding out what their pain points are and what they've tried before, things like that. Is there a good way to go about research?
Well, I would say it's you got to see it in the context of a process, and a process is steps. It's little steps as you move along. Now, what happens with some companies is that, or some businesses and people, is they think that they can miss out some of the steps. So in other words, I've got this idea. Let me find out, how practical it is to make or to get. Let me find out the cost of it. Let me speak to people to see if this is of interest to them. So those are some of the steps in the process. A lot of people will say, oh, I've got this great product. Let me try and speak to this person and sell it to them. But until we ask the question, is this something that will help you? And if you ask a whole lot of people, you'll soon find out, yes, it is something that will help me. Or it's not exactly, what could we do to refine this, to make it as good, to help me and my business as possible. That's the key element, and the market research to be able to say, hold on a sec, and it comes back to that word listen. And of course asking questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, because we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So if you want to get laser focused on your clients' desires and outcomes, and you're listening to them, how can you then take that and turn it into something that's going to be really successful?
Well, I use 2 words for that. I call it review and refine. So if you've got something, and you open to listening to what other people say about the use of it, I'm talking about a product specifically. Same thing can apply to a service. It can apply across the spectrum in total. So once you've asked questions, you will get some feedback. Once you've got feedback, you need to be open to refine it, review it, so that it becomes a better version of where you were. So that's how I see it.
Well, since you are the expert, having worked with all those major Fortune 500 companies, what would you say in these disruptive times where there's so much fear going around about money, what are your steps that you would give us to just be unstoppable in our marketing and branding?
Well, first of all, let me say I'm not the expert. I like to think that I add value, but I'm certainly a work in progress. The minute you think that you are an expert, you're certainly not an expert, if I can put it like that.
Well, I love the humbleness, but you are an expert.
I'm a specialist at what I do, and I have results to prove it, and so therefore I can add the credibility of aspect of yes, but that doesn't make me an expert. So I would say that the important aspect of getting from one point to the other is to always remember that everything revolves around a strategy. So most people think, here's a product or here's a service, I'm going to sell it. But
right.
I'll use an analogy, and actually I spoke about this analogy yesterday, and I'm actually going to do a video post about it. Is no corporate gifting product is worth anything without a strategy. And the analogy is, it's almost like saying, I'm going to buy a Ferrari, but I can't drive. So how are you going to drive the Ferrari if you don't know how to drive? And so there the strategy comes in on the product, is that if you're going to take a product or a service, and as I say, it can apply across the board, you have to have a plan and a strategy.
That's good. Yeah, a plan and a strategy, because like you said earlier, there's so much to unpack around skipping steps we're so exuberant and excited and we want to launch something and we just think it's the next best thing, but we have to have a process when we're planning something. So let's break down what your process looks like for strategy before a launch and before creating all this wonderful branding.
Well, the first important thing is to have some patience, which is in short supply as well, as we know.
I heard about those things.
Yeah, patience. I mean, that everyone struggles with. So the process that I work on is the following: is when I'm engaging with a new customer or an existing customer, I ask a series of questions, and the question is something like this: if you're going to be doing this event, you're going to be doing this function, or whatever you're going to be doing, what do you want to achieve? First question. Right. What are you hoping to achieve?
Okay.
So until I know what a company wants to achieve, I'm literally just giving them a basket of ideas and saying, enjoy yourself, take what you like. But
Right.
when you understand what companies want to achieve, then you can start putting the meat around the bone, which means who's the target audience? Is it young people? Is it middle-aged people? What's the demographics? Is it business owners? Is it CEOs? Is it startups? Is it young people that want to learn? Because each little sect will have a different approach. And therein is why I believe that I'm a specialist, because there is no such thing as one size fits all. There are unique ways to achieve outcomes with specifics rather than generally. And that's my process.
So you want to reverse engineer what you're going to do based on who your demographics are and what they want to accomplish, what their goal is.
I'm so pleased you use that word, because that is actually one of my processes, is reverse engineer. So many promotional companies have a website with gazillion images, and they say, have a look at my website, see what you like. So my process is complete opposite to that. It is a reverse engineer process. If you look at my website, you won't find a million images, but you'll find stories, what have been used to work for particular companies. So that reverse engineer process starts from the outcome, and it works back to a targeted particular product that one can use. And then you've got to plug the strategy in. Because without the strategy, all you've got is a product. And what do you do with the product?
I love that. I love the way that if you want to accomplish anything, like if you're coaching someone, you want to know what is the end goal. And it's almost like a mouse with a maze and the cheese in the middle. You got to start at the cheese and then work your way back out of the maze. Like, you know what the end goal is, then you start there. So when you talk about storytelling and the importance of storytelling, how can we incorporate that in our marketing in a way that will make the person who's watching it think that they see a little piece of themselves in that brand?
Well, the way that I choose to do it is to show how we solve pain points. So the way to tell a story is, when I say, this is just my philosophy. The way to tell a story is to say, this customer had this kind of problem. We used these kind of products to assist them with that particular problem. And here's what they achieve by using these particular products. Now, if that resonates with you, we should be talking. Because that's what you want to do with storytelling, is you want people to visualize that they have the same kind of problem. And if you tell the story succinct enough and clear enough, people resonate with it. They think, hold on a sec, that's exactly the problem I've got. Now, if this guy can help that person or that company, he should be able to help me. Let's have a conversation. So that's how I do it.
So it's a testimonial type of thing in an authentic way that's actually a problem you actually solved, and they see themselves in that brand.
Yeah. So there are two words that I always throw into the mix, and that is competency and credibility. Now, first of all, we need to tick the box that we're competent. And as I say, I'm not talking from a branding and marketing perspective only. We talk about business coaches, you talk about, services. It's the same thing. As you got to first tick the box that you're competent. And then people want to deal with other people that are credible, that can show credibility. Yes. So in my case, and I'm using this as an example, I work with MasterCard, Google, YouTube, and so it goes on. So hold on a sec. If this guy is working with MasterCard and Google and YouTube and LinkedIn, Coca-Cola and Pepsi for the last 7 to 8 years, he's got to be credible. These companies wouldn't be dealing with me if they didn't believe that I could do the job. I was competent enough and I showed credibility. So those boxes need to be ticked. So in any business, as I say, this is not just related to branding and marketing. In any business, you need to make sure to concentrate on your competency and you need to show credibility. And here's probably the most important thing is in any business, in any type of business, servicing, coaching, whatever it might be, what do you want to be known for? And if you can get clarity as to what you want to be known for, you will become the go-to person for that. If you can show it clearly, if you can demonstrate competency and credibility, you would be the go-to person. So if you look at my social medias, wherever you look across the board, you'll see the same business picture of me, and you'll see the same terminology, branding and marketing specialist. Why? Because I want to be known as a branding marketing specialist. That's my go-to. So that explains it.
Oh, I love the clarity and credibility, and that you don't blur your brand message by being one thing on one channel and one thing on the other channel, and that anytime you look at Roy Kowarski, it's going to be branding and marketing. And I've seen you show some amazing photos where a picture can paint 1,000 words. How could you do something like that if you're not like a big Fortune 500 company, and just show an image that really is striking?
Yeah, so what I do with those creativity images that I use, and there's videos and there's images, is I show how important innovation and creativity is. Now, you don't have to be a big company to be innovative and creative. You can be a small business, you can be a medium-sized business, you can be a coach, you can be a services. But what you got to do is you got to paint a picture so that your ideal client says, I want to work with that person because I see the innovation that they have and the creativity that they show.
Yeah. So you don't want to be vanilla. You don't want to be like everybody else. You want to find a gap then in the market of where you can be just a little something special, different.
Absolutely. You definitely don't want to be vanilla. That's for sure. So
I
the idea is,
vanilla. That's not my thing.
well, that's why you're different, which is great. So the thing is, it's to stand out in a crowd. That's really what it is. It's to get people's attention. It's to be able to you be unique. So the first thing is to have the self-belief that you are unique, which we all are. And the second thing is search for ways to be creative, to be different, and then to look for innovative ways. So that's the niche of my business, is to help other companies be innovative, to be creative, and to have a point of difference. And the same can apply for every single business across the platform. If you're a business coach, why should people come to you? Tell us why. I'm not talking about you. I'm saying generally. Why should people come to you? Well, what is that you're going to do that's any different to the next person? And how creative are you going to be to get my attention? If you are an accounting firm, if you are a lawyer, whatever it might be, anything, it comes back to the same thing. Are you innovative enough? Are you creative enough? Are you bringing attention, and are you standing out so that someone can say, I need somebody like that?
Yeah, I love all of the points that you've made about the need to be creative and unique and stand out with your branding. Are there any final tips on branding and messaging and creativity you want to leave our audience with to be unstoppable and keep going no matter what?
I would say the key element is to listen. And I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Is the key of standing out is to listen what people are struggling with, and then to come up with creative ways to get their attention. And once you've got their attention, then you're having a conversation. And once you've got a conversation, well, it's up to everyone. Everyone manages conversations in a different way, and then it's over to you to close the deal, so to speak.
Yeah, I love it. So I really like everything you're up to in LinkedIn. I suggest everybody follow Roy Kowarski on LinkedIn. Where can people find you?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn. As you know, I'm pretty active, and I also have a company page. So it's actually strange that we're having this discussion today. I've just managed to reach 10,000 followers in the last 2 days.
That's amazing.
And my company page is called Out There Branding. And I only share branding and marketing insights and tips. I do not sell on my company page. And I've just reached the milestone of 2,000 followers on my company page. I had 300 followers about 5 months ago. So I've managed to grow from 300 to 2,000 in literally 6 months. So that's where I can be found. And I'm always up for conversations. Today I put up a post about getting without an expectation to get anything back. I just put it up before we did this podcast. And that's the essence of what I do, is I give without an expectation of getting anything back.
Well, thank you, Roy. It's been a pleasure to have you as a guest on WholeCEO with Lisa G. Roy Kowarski, thank you. Thanks for coming to WholeCEO with Lisa G. After over 20 years helping people lose weight and get fit, I'm so excited to announce that I found the missing link with my coaching. Message me if you want to learn how to look better, feel better, and go faster with a master. Lisa G at lisagfit.com.